Sam, thanks for coming in, dog.
Happy to be here. Thanks for, we've been talking about it for a hot minute, just in and out, and finally made sense.
I think I met you actually backstage at NFA, if I'm not mistaken, back when they were still at the Armory.
Yes.
And we were talking a little bit back then about like fighting and martial arts and everything. And then that's me. So I've known Jamie for a while now, but Jamie was the one who introduced us. So it's good to finally have you in the house.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jamie's like, dude, you and him need to get together. He's like, you've done a handful of podcasts. He's going to love this. This is going to work out so good. And yeah, we're probably a year and a half down the road, maybe 2 years. And here we are.
God bless, man. Real quick, before I ask, only because Chris brought it up last time, you guys are moving the church? It's changing locations?
Yes.
Nice, like expansion, right? Like
it's gonna be a bigger, better spot.
God bless.
Which is really convenient for me. Well, actually, it's all convenient for me. I currently live 2 minutes away from the current location. They're right off of Cherokee in South City. And where they're moving is the gym that I do a lot of my personal training and coaching at.
Nice.
So they're just going to be right next door to the gym I already coach at.
Beautiful. Logistics. It makes sense.
Right.
So, I mean, that's an easy segue to the real reason you're here is to actually talk about your fight that's coming up. You've had a fight before I want to be careful of the verbiage I use here. The accident?
Injury. We'll call it injury.
Injury, forgive me.
If you can't tell, if you're only listening to this on audio, I have 1 foot. I'm a below knee amputee.
For the OnlyFans subscribers, the camera under the table, they've been seeing it.
Only stumps, baby.
So yeah, I mean it's a wild concept to me because martial arts we always make this joke, right? They're like, well, this guy's got 2 arms and 2 legs, and he's as long as they got 2 arms and 2 legs, like they can't throw anything I haven't seen. And like now you're in there saying like, hey, hold my liquid death. Let me get in there.
Yeah, no, it's so for me, like my very unique, and I know we'll get into this a little bit deeper in a second, but like the very unique piece of my amputation story is that my amputation was a solution. That was like the end of the bad stuff. Like that's how I actually sorted out the actual issue. And I took my life back by choosing amputation, saying that like, I'll take this inanimate object that at least will work right, get me out of pain, give me an opportunity to attack life like that. I don't care what it looks like, and I'll figure it out. And that's what I've done.
We'll talk about the amputation story a little bit later in the conversation. I have a lot of questions for that, but I want to pinpoint this to the fight first, simply because that is the monumental task that you're undertaking first, right?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be fighting for Ian Zarvos' promotion,
Fight
Sports, at the St. Anne Community Center.
Yep.
I want to say a couple weeks from now?
March 28th.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, my fight will be done.
Sorry, I should have known all these dates right off the top of my head.
That's all.
Forgive me. I have a lot that I'm
we
holding on to right now.
We're 2 Saturdays away.
Let's talk about the process. I want to start from the beginning. The process of even trying to get a fight under your conditions. Obviously, the State Athletic Commission has to accept it. You have to get with the promotion. Your coaches have to be on board. How was that storm of getting everybody in alignment?
It was just in stages and steps, and like most processes, did not operate in a straight line.
Yeah.
So really, I came into, you want to get into like the origin story of Jamie and I?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. I love a good origin story.
We were in the middle of like a mosh pit, and then I was like, yeah, are we best friends?
It's like, I saw that right hand, and I was like, oh, shit. So Jamie and I were both at a spot called Dope. A friend of mine, Matt Vincent, it's his place, and he does this thing called Sunday service where everybody's just kind of welcoming. It's a community thing, and they were all hanging out. This is when church was still in the garage, but they were about to move out of the garage. They were all kind of hitting, and like, a few people were there. James Seltzer, Ashley Pryor, and like Jamie are the 3 that I know that were there. They were doing a little bit of pad work just because. And then at some point I was doing something, and Jamie was like, we had talked a little bit, and he was like, you want to try this? I was like, sure. Yeah. Like I was always a movement nerd. Like with me, like losing all the faculties that I was losing in my left foot and the ability to actually use it, I had to keep learning, and I became a huge nerd when it came to movement. And so I understood all the mechanics of punching. I just didn't have the practice. And then also knowing how to punch and knowing how to fight are 2 separate things. And I was smart enough to know that. And so Jamie got me a pair of gloves, and we hit a few times, and he was just like, dude, he's like, you're not like, this isn't going to be a problem. He's like, dude, I would love for you to come work with you. He's like, I like talking to you. Everybody I know that knows you likes you. And he was like, what do you think about, he's like, would you come and train? And Jamie's also like that for everybody.
yeah.
Jamie just has a desire to. It's not business at all. I'm sure Demi would love it if it was. I'm sure Demi would love it if it was more business. But no, Jamie just wants to love people, and he wants people to know that they're loved. Like I watch it every week. I watch it every time we go to fights. Like
he's one of the coolest guys I know. Like if you ever talk to Jamie, just always in a good mood, always with good vibes, always like a positive character. He's the kind of people that if you have a lot of those around your life, around you in your life, you'll just gravitate towards success. Because no matter what it is that you're doing, you'll find that passion. You'll be supported. There's people that add to your cup, and there's people that take away from your cup. Jamie is one of the people that like overwhelm your cup.
If you give him the chance, he absolutely will.
He's a really cool guy.
And so so he asked me to come train, and I told him so. Like I had feelings about I've always found this to be an interesting potential side quest at minimum. I've got all sorts of side quests under my belt, and. So I gave it to him straight though. So one of the hard parts about operating with a visible disability, no matter what it is, but especially a missing limb, is people they really just want to cheer you on. They want to feel good. You remember when Biggest Loser was a big deal and people were like, oh, this is a terrible show. They did horrible things to these people, horribly unhealthy, really bad for health culture. But people liked watching it because they got a feel good vibe. From watching these people, they lost 20 pounds. I feel better about myself, sort of thing.
It came from a good place. Came from a good place.
Just a little bit.
For the viewer.
For the viewer, yeah, exactly. But people don't realize how patronizing that is or how unhelpful that is.
Or how unhealthy that is. Because here's the thing, there's a right way to lose weight as well.
Well, there's not even just losing weight, but just the mentality of like, oh, your existence is amazing. Not necessarily. Everybody needs to show up, but I get told I'll have some woman who needs her cart to stand upright tell me, "Oh, it's so great that you're out here doing this. I'm getting groceries, ma'am, and I get around better than you do." And she's telling me I'm brave for going to the grocery store. I was like, "This is a basic human thing you got to do."
Ooh, that's a hot take. You're gonna get a lot of flack. We live in a different world now.
Being the accountability guy anywhere has never been popular.
God bless.
And it's not, and for the people though that it's good for, they do great with me. That's why I coach the people I coach. And so I understood going in, it's one of the things I tell people is when I talk to new amputees, hey, understand the grocery store didn't get smaller because you lost a leg. You still have to navigate the same world. Fight's no different. There's only the truth. There's only a truth in fighting, whether or not it's a self-defense situation or it's an agreed upon date, time, and location. There's only truth in there. And so I told Jamie, I was like, here's the deal. It's really hard for me to get good coaching and stuff like this because everybody just wants to tell me good job. Because they're so great because they've not seen it happen. And their perception of me is so much lower than reality. They're like, oh, that's amazing. No, bad punches, bad technique's bad technique. It doesn't change that. And I was like, so the second you tell me something's good and I know it's not, I'm out because I can't trust you. Ooh. I told that was how Jamie and I started our relationship.
Well, to piggyback off of your idea, the foundation of what you're saying, just because of whatever's happened to you, it's not like the grocery store gets smaller. Well, just because of what's happened to you, you're going to go in there, you're going to have to fight somebody. And I guarantee you, they're not going to go easy on you.
Hope not.
Because of whatever it is that ails you.
I would be horribly disappointed.
Yeah, they're going to come at you the same way they would come at anybody else. They're signing up for a fight as well.
Correct.
So there's no what's the word I'm looking for here? No inches. You're going to have to earn every mile on this one.
I absolutely hope so. That's all I want.
Is there a part of you that is getting into fighting or has gotten into martial arts or stays in martial arts because of that? Because it is, in my opinion, basketball, baseball, football, a lot of these team-oriented sports always have these fail-safes. Oh, the quarterback didn't throw me the ball, or the pitcher walked me, or what have you. You have excuses. Fighting is the most naked sport. You don't have any excuses.
I am drawn to things like this.
Yes.
I am drawn to things with that as a characteristic, for sure. I like it. Accountability has served me well in life. So I go chase things that builds that skill and builds that skill set. Fighting is the current way that I'm sharpening that blade. And striking is currently, and also I'm 36. So if I want to do this, and I'm also just a very curious person, one of the things that drove me to join the military was I could not stand people talking about how if I would have joined, I would have been a Ranger for sure. I would have been a SEAL for sure. That's all I would have done. But I would have this, that, and the other. I was like, I don't want to be that person. But I had that, there was an inkling I had one night when my brother came back from a deployment. And I was like, all right, that's what we're doing. Like I wasn't satisfied going to college. I wasn't satisfied. Like it just clearly wasn't like doing it for me. I was like, I could do that. And I don't want to be, and in 10 years, I don't want to be somebody that says they could have. So I'm a very curious person. And I didn't want to feel this way about fighting. I believe the universe delivers, and universe delivered Jamie and I together at that time. And so time is now.
Do you think there's any part of you that's just addicted to overcoming a challenge as well? Because when you're talking about side quests, when you're talking about like, this is the thing now, it's almost with the intention that and obviously this is for all fighters, this is temporary. Like we can only compete
I'm very aware of that.
in martial arts for only a short amount of time relative to our lifespans. But it sounds as if like there's this part of you that has been, I mean, regardless of the injury and everything, the type of person you are is someone who seeks hurdles to overcome. Would that be a fair assessment?
I think there's a way to phrase it that way. I don't think I would phrase it like, oh, I'm looking for something
something to overcome.
Yeah, I'm not really looking at it like that, but that's also like your inspiration porn language that just drives me crazy in the disability world. But yeah, I want to round myself out. And this is one of those things that like everybody will tell you there's something different about this. And I look for things there's something different about this, something that you can't just walk in and do. It takes some time, it takes work. There's a refinement process. I'm drawn to that sort of stuff. I need to never, ever pick up a golf club because I drive myself crazy. I will go broke. Exactly. Like I know my brain. I know how I operate.
He's going through that phase right now.
Right?
I've been since 16 years old.
And so I know that about myself.
You're hitting close to home on that one.
So like, I know that about myself and I enjoy it, but it also makes me a better me. And that's what I'm driven for. Like, I was talking to someone, I was like, losses don't bug me. Subpar performances do though. I'm not afraid to take an L, but I am terrified of a subpar performance that didn't have to be.
What would be then the measurement in which you describe yourself as either subpar or, the performance that you're capable of? Like, how do you, in retrospect, obviously, because you have to do the thing first, how do you, in retrospect, look back and say, like, yes, that is the outcome the best possible outcome, depending on the work that I put into it?
Avoidable mistakes. Did I make them?
Okay.
That's a problem to me. That's probably the biggest catch-all that I could say is like were there avoidable mistakes? Like if I show up to this fight and I don't have a gas tank, I had months to get ready for this. That is subpar preparation. That is not Sam being his best version of himself, and that's all I want to be. So like a gas tank, or just poor, whether or not I've got, there's no game plan, or again, just things that like, man, you could have taken care of this. And like, did I show up on my best, and maybe something happens, who knows, maybe one of you two has a bug and I get sick and I got to show up to this fight coming off of a bug. Like that can happen. I'm still going to show up assuming I'm not sick, but like, I'm still going to show up and fight and be like, did I use that? And I've gotten good at that reflection process. I've been through enough things to like I've gotten good at reflection, and it looks different. I don't have a great like objective answer there, which
I'll tell you why I asked that, because specifically in fighting, it's like I always correlated the outcome was winning. Like that's, by the way, this is gonna sound really toxic, but like that's how I view all like life through a lens. Is like, is the desired outcome that I wanted achieved? If it was not, then I failed. Like that is a subpar performance, because a par performance would have been that outcome. Whatever it is, get the job, get a wife, like whatever your metric that you're chasing.
I like that
for
actually.
is.
I would say that's actually really good. Like, yeah,
regardless of the variables, I don't care if I get sick. I don't care with this. Did I get it fucking done? If I didn't, then I needed to go through the list of the reasons why, and then I need to work on that.
And like, let's just say that I show up and I'm just terrible and I land a lucky punch and I get the desired outcome of the win, but I didn't actually perform well. I'm not going to be too happy about that.
See, I don't believe in that. So I think luck isn't an equation. It is where opportunity meets preparation.
100%.
So like when someone says like, oh, I got the lucky overhand. No, fuck that. I bet you were at the fucking gym training that overhand. So it's not really luck. Or maybe that guy miscalculated a feint or something that you were throwing. I don't really, I believe in the grace of God in terms of luck. Like there are just either good things or bad things that happen to us, irrespective of what we do. I do believe in that. But I also don't believe like, oh man, that was a lucky punch. I was like, go fuck yourself, dude. I caught you. And by the way, if it was the other way around, I would never diminish someone else's performance by saying, oh, you got lucky. No, you beat my ass.
Well, because if you hit me with that lucky punch, then what did I not do that I was supposed to be doing?
Exactly.
That's how I'd feel about that.
Exactly. So I don't diminish someone's accomplishment, nor will I diminish my own. No, that wasn't a lucky punch. If I knocked you out with something,
Yeah, and
I
also
caught
like
you.
when it comes to fighting, I don't have the reps to have a to have a set evaluation process. And I understand that, and that's part of what I wanted to get better at. Like I want to learn these things about me, and that's the other thing is like that I've learned about fighting is like this is just such a true raw expression of who you are. Like this is, I actually just I'm a big journaler. And I had this big like breakthrough because I kind of sat there. I was like, why do I want to do? Why did I fight so hard to do this? Because like you said, we're gonna work backwards on this story. I had to work very hard to get this fight. Years. In fact, the day that we got the fight offer
to get approved for this fight, to get the fight lined up,
all of it,
to get Jamie on board.
Sorry, Jamie was like, Jamie's been A1 since day one, man. Like there's, I'm sure that's shocking.
No,
that's all Jamie's ever wanted to see.
I want to fight. Dope. Let's get ready.
The only thing Jamie's ever wanted to see me do was land a hard punch on somebody. He just hoped it wasn't one of his guys.
God bless.
No, Jamie was no problem, but like just the whole process. Like there's been, it's been hard. Like it's been really hard, and it's been a lot of things out of my control, which is what sucks.
Yeah.
And like literally the day we got the fight, before we did Jamie and I were getting ready to do a private. I was like, hey, I was like, I think the timeline's done.
Oh, meaning like
it's just not going to happen.
This is taking too long.
It's just not going to happen. I can't put my life on hold trying to get ready, trying to get into a camp. So like I still want to train and all that stuff. I was like, but I think after today, I think I'm at peace. I'm at peace with the fact this probably isn't going to happen. We posted it because we didn't post any clips of me training because you don't share what you're doing to get ready for a fight.
You don't understand the toxic masculinity I exude. I would let them know.
But so we put a video up, and Jamie's like, who's out here trying to like say this guy can't outfight? We had 3 names in like
really 30. Because of that video.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll tell you,
100%.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you 2 questions. Number one, before I ask you was it demoralizing trying to find a fight for so long and trying to train and trying to get yourself in a position where you were getting a camp? Were there moments where you're like, obviously you were coming up to that moment, so it's kind of like an answered question, but were there moments before that as well where you were like, man, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I not wasting my time, but spending so much effort on this?
It wasn't that. It was just like, I want to do a lot of things in my life. I basically, in a lot of different ways, I lost my entire 20s. I really didn't get a handle on my life until after I was 30. I'm 36 now, and I'm statistically not supposed to be here anymore. So I'm interested in burning all the gas. And so I was like, how much more am I willing to kind of spin my wheels here? It's a thing I want to do, but maybe the universe is telling me, no, man, like there's other things out there that you're supposed to be doing. Like I believe in these sorts of things. I've had so many things happen in my life where I dropped something or ended something that needed to be ended. And sometimes within 24 hours, had this huge delivery from the universe on something that I really needed. And so I was like, I was more thinking about it like that. Like, is this just not supposed to be it for me? And that's okay. Like, I have no identity in being a fighter. I have no identity in being an amputee. I have no identity in being a veteran. I have no identity in any of these things. I am Sam. And Sam is got a cool story, some dark chapters, some bright chapters, and maybe this just wasn't supposed to be one of them. And I was like, I came to peace with that. And as I say, it wasn't like a pissy, moany, crying thing to Jamie. It was like, hey, maybe this just isn't supposed to happen, and it's been fun. I love it, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep training it. I was like, and so we posted a video from training that day because my hands were moving well. I was moving well, and we were like, let's get this one on video.
And we posted that one, and
got the fight.
People came
and the fight happened.
That was the question I was going to ask next. Is do you think that there was a portion of maybe? I want to be careful how I ask this. And by the way, going forward in this conversation, I want you to know, because I don't want to have to constantly cater my questions, but like my goal is not to. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm going to ask the questions as I want to ask them. Just wanted you to know I'm coming in good faith.
And I'm going to trust that. And if there's something that's a little bit off, we'll have we'll have a teaching moment.
Tell me, yeah.
Like I would rather that's a lot healthier.
Do you think that a factor of why you weren't getting fights was because of the injury and that people did not want to
101%.
Yeah. So it was like a question of like
101%.
hey, this guy Sam wants to fight, but he's missing a leg, and then everybody else is like, oh, well, I don't want to fight that guy. Then.
They don't want to be the guy that loses to the guy with one leg.
Exactly. Well, no, all risk, no reward in their mind frame.
I was like, well, but then I'm like, okay, well, that only matters if you believe I'm a lesser version of a human being. Please proceed.
Well, no. I think it's more. I think it's more than you show a video of the skill set.
Yes.
And that's the thing is like you. It's not even lesser human being. It's that you thought I wasn't dangerous. So you thought that is like, if I fight Sam and for some reason Sam catches me and I go out, then I lost to a non-dangerous, not serious fighter.
Correct. But
then you show the video of the hands looking good, about the head movement being sound, and like, okay, this guy's dangerous. Yeah, he might have this injury, but he can fuck people up. So then it becomes, I hate to say it, the word like validates you, but it validates you. It's like, no, but I belong here.
I mean, people in the area, they know I fought. I've got a kickboxing match in Indiana. They know I'm an athlete. They know I'm a coach. They know that I'm like a good mover. So no, I don't believe that. I don't believe for a second that anybody honestly thought that I wasn't capable of it. It was all insecure. I mean, the fight, one of the biggest misconceptions from people who aren't inside of the fight world, they think that they don't understand the sheer level of insecurity that exists
In fighting?
Like,
in fighters?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and everybody thinks that, oh, these are all tough and they believe in themselves. Like, oh, no, it's
You
not.
see the backstage of a fight night, everyone's shitting their pants.
Right? Don't go to the bathroom. It smells like fear. I'm not gonna lie. I have literally said that to like, oh, I know who this is. I'm gonna fuck with him. Like, oh,
It's there's two kinds of fear, right? There's like the fear of not having the performance you want, right? And then there's the fear of, oh shit, what have I gotten myself into? And you're not wrong. You can pinpoint the difference.
it's very different.
There's a good amount of fear that keeps you sharp, keeps you on edge, keeps you focused. But then there's the fear that prevents you, that debilitates you, that makes you hesitate. And there's a fine line between both.
Does it narrow the scope or does it cloud you?
Yes.
With question marks. And there's two separate things. And yeah, and so people don't understand that side of it. And that's to say, nobody wants to be the guy that lost to the guy with one leg. I'm like, first off, you're an AMI dog. No, anyone carrying around their AMI record in anything, that's your own problem, sort of thing. But like, yeah, no, I have a very difficult time believing. Like, so our very first attempt to get a fight, supposed to be a boxing match, was actually supposed to be probably about almost 3 years ago now.
Jesus.
So
like this has been a while, man.
Long walk.
I'm so sorry that it took that long.
We had 8 guys accept, look me up, and then come to Jeremy Johnson was the guy trying to make this happen. We were
Shout out JJ.
Oh yes, he got the ball rolling for me. He's been great to me ever since. Like we literally just had a couple of light sparring rounds one day at church, and it was funny. Jamie's like, "Hey Sam, just be light. He's got to be on TV on Saturday," sort of thing. And so we're kind of chatting it up, and he's like, "I'm not gonna lie, you're moving pretty well." He's like, "Are you trying to do this for real?" I was like, "I'd love to if the opportunity came up." I was like, "I think so." And he's like, "Let me work on this for you."
Yeah, because he's good friends with Rob and Jesse with Shamrock, and
then on top, well, he was trying to like, oh, well, there's going to be guys that aren't going to get into guns and hoses, but I've been training for boxing. It's like that would be a great way to kind of put this together.
Yeah.
So we had 8 guys accept, Google me, and come up with a reason to not fight me. Some of them asked for a different matchup on the card.
Wow.
All of them knew going in that I was an amputee. So it was like, that's what it's been like. And so like, yeah, no, it's because of this, and I'm not a slouch. They just don't want to bring. They don't want to bring the second piece of the puzzle. Joke's on you guys. You totally should have accepted 3 years ago. I was way worse at this. I was way worse.
Been cooking for 3 years.
I was way worse at this 3 years ago.
That was the time to have me.
Yep.
So you finally got this one lined up. Let's go over the emotions of like when, because obviously we're 2 weeks out, but a couple weeks prior when it was like solidified, you got to fight. Talk about those emotions. Was it like just like fuck yeah, like about time, exuberance, joy?
There was no celebration for me. Like not like a yeah. None of that was there. Nope. We were just like, all right, let's fucking go.
Finally.
Like no, it was just straight up go time. Like cool. We've been waiting to pull the trigger. Like we had been spending about the last three months in particular, just basically in preseason, getting ready to get into camp volume, getting ready to get camp started, and just promotion after promotion just couldn't get anybody. we spent almost all of last year just straight up in matching processes with different promotions between Shamrock and NFA particularly. They wanted the fight that I'm going to sell. I sell tickets.
Well, I'm sure from the promotions perspective, they don't care.
Think of how easy you get to sell the amputee veteran, the first amputee in the state of Missouri to fight.
Fair. I meant like they don't care that you're an amputee in the sense like it's no detriment to them.
Oh, correct. No, it's a plus for them.
Yeah.
Because again, it's worst case scenario, it's marketing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be the first guy to ever, everybody's picture's always like a chest up crowd. I was like, I'll be the first one to get a full body.
Or just waist down.
Sam, the leg Schaefer. No. Oh, man.
He lost a leg. Why does he still have two? Hey.
It's his 3 links. But yeah, so the promoters all wanted it. Like, that show that we were talking about that you and I met, I ended up in the NFA pre-show and Danny Wright's telling his story about how the first time he heard that I fought, how he assumed that it was a gimmick, and then he's like, what the and so like Danny gets me pulled out there and we're talking, and Danny's telling this story, and I just lean over, like, I didn't really know Lance. I was like, you may not be stoked about this this story. And so we kind of had a little rapport right there. He was like, it's Danny. I already know. And so we're going.
He's a character. He means well.
Oh, 100%. Like, I did Danny's Squared Up a few weeks ago. And so Danny's like talking, telling that, Sam's actively trying to fight and he's getting, working on approval from the commission. And Lance then leans over. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I want this fight. Like, the promoters wanted it. And like, they're like, of course, like, yeah, we're going to get you matched. We're going to get you matched. It just didn't happen. It just kept not happening. And just gets false start. It's this whiplash. And so finally it's like, I come to peace that it may not happen. I come to peace that I don't like it, but I'm okay that it might not. And it happens. And so it's like, for me, it's like, all right, I've been saying how ready I am for this for a couple of years now. Now I get to do it.
Time to.
Yeah, this is what I asked for.
Let me ask you this, because I don't want to ask about the fight because it's 2 weeks out, and obviously, sure, you have a game plan and all that stuff, and I'll leave those questions for the people that are the fight analysts. But what I do want to ask is the overarching theme here, based on the conversation that we've had. We both agree that this is a limited time, but I don't get the sense that this is the only fight you want to have. Would it be a fair assessment that this might be the catalyst for a few more before you call it quits, or is this the only one you want?
I'm prepared if this is the only one.
Gotcha.
I also believe I'm going to go out and show something that's going to make people less likely to want to fight me.
Ooh.
Like, I don't not work hard. I don't train for second place. And it's that simple. Like, I don't, and on top of, like I said, I'm 36. I'm not trying to play the head trauma game.
It's a rough game.
Right? I know what I'm searching at. I'm trying to have experiences in life. Like, that's how I boil everything down. What experience, that's how I train my athletes. Like, what experience do you want on fight night? Like, when you're tired in training, what experience do you want on fight night? Train for that. When you're deciding whether or not you're going to go for that run, whether or not you're going to have that meal or you're going to eat a pizza or you're going to eat the meal you should, what experience do you want on fight night? Because that's what we're training for. Success is a lot more fun than fucking off and having fun. And that right there is how my brain operates. Like, there's nothing more fun than my version of success.
Winning is the most fun. I always tell, because I coach high school wrestling, and I tell the kids, we do this little speech in the first day of orientation, all that stuff. And I basically just say, hi, I'm Coach Z. I want you to know this is what I expect from you. A lot of you guys are going to come into this sport wanting different things. For some of you, you just want to have a social group. Nothing wrong with that. For some of you, you just don't want to go home. You want to be busy. Even better. Some of you want to come in here and you win. That's what the boat I'm on. I was like, we can either have fun practices and we have really shitty tournaments and really shitty meets, or we can have not so fun practices. But then when we go out there and compete, we're having a ball.
And then you're going to have the bus ride of your life.
Yes. Which one do you guys want? Just setting the standard. And it's two-pronged, right? Because I don't want to, same thing in martial arts. Everyone's going to come into this world with different goals, right? We were talking earlier about the amateur records. Some guys I've seen could be absolute world beaters, and they just have their one fight and they're like, hey, I did it. I just wanted to kind of see, kind of like what you were saying. I wanted to see what this was about. I wanted to dedicate myself to this for a year, do a camp for 3 months, and I did it. I'm good. I'm happy. Then I've seen some guys that think they're going to be, the next John Jones, and that's what they're pursuing. Same sport, different different drives.
There's a
nothing
lot of ways
wrong.
to do this. There's a lot of ways to do the same thing. The only wrong thing to me is to lie about it.
Ooh,
There's nothing.
expand on that. What do you mean by lie about it?
Lie to
Forgive me.
yourself.
Like lie.
Like how many people have you seen like, oh, I want to be a champ. I want to be a champ. And you got to chase.
But they don't do champ shit.
They don't do champ shit. Like you have to chase them into training. Like where you been at? Where you been at? Where you? I thought it was like
I don't do that. I don't. I tell the kids. I say I will be your coach and I will worry about you and I'll be your bedrock if you're here. If you're not here, I will not worry about you. I will not call you. I will not ask where you've been. If you're here, I'm yours. If you're not here, I have no idea who you are. I set that standard from day one.
A big coaching light bulb was invest in the invested.
Yes.
Because I was somebody that really struggled early on in my coaching career with, I wanted it more than a lot of people.
It's brutal.
And I beat myself. And in high school, I was the kid like that I didn't understand playing high school sports if you didn't want to take it very serious. I didn't understand those. Like, I think I needed that. I needed that conversation. You have like, hey, some people are here. I needed that perspective that not everybody on the soccer team wants to win. And like, there are times when I wasn't a good teammate to people, not because, or like I was kind of a, not necessarily a dick, but like I didn't have the perspective that people wanted it different than me because I didn't understand why else you would want it differently. And then I've gone through so many versions of life that perspective's a motherfucker. And now I get that stuff. And
well, team sports are also different because in wrestling, it's individual.
Correct.
You will get what you put in. But in team sports, it's hard because I can't have that conversation in team sports. Because like, let's say you and there's 11 guys on the soccer field, right?
Yep.
Let's say 5 of the 11 guys are like you. Fucking world beaters, want it. They're training on the offseason, weightlifting, all the stuff. And then the other 6 people are fucking off. Who's wrong here? Like who's like genuinely who's wrong? Is it the 5 guys that want and work, or is it the 6 guys that never signed up for it? That's a tough question to ask.
Well, the answer is neither.
Neither.
And again, that's what I say. The only problem is when you tell me
That you want championship.
you want to be this,
but you're not putting the.
But you don't have like you don't become a champ. Like being a champion or being a pro is a set of behaviors, and you have to be a pro before you get invited to be a pro. Like it's not if you're there for a status of professional, then you're probably not going to get it, or maybe you're going to get it. And it's going to meet, but you're not going to do anything with it. You know,
there's a lot of pros that are like 0-3, 0-4, 1-5, like
or just like
sorry guys.
You sit there, it's like, man, I train more than you, and I'm going to get nothing out of this fight. Like I'm not getting paid. There's no path. Like there's no path for me to go in fighting. Like there's no path for me to go in boxing or kickboxing or MMA, like or anything like that. There's no just because I'm out in front. Like again, I'll be the first amputee to fight in the state of Missouri. One of my bigger goals is that the next amputee that wants to fight doesn't have to deal with the same bullshit that I've had to. Doesn't have to answer the same stupid questions. Doesn't have to get put under the same unnecessary microscope. You know, how about if I pass the same physical as the other guys, then that probably tells you, shouldn't that tell you all you need to tell, or is your physical worthless?
Yeah.
Like we're ending those questions.
Or the fact that you've been training for 4 years, sparring for 4 years.
Like,
you know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm doing this 5 days a week for the last.
Yeah, and I'm not
years.
just doing it I'm not just hitting a bag at Club Fitness by myself. You know, I'm at a gym that like
with fighters that have fought for you. So
correct. And so it's like, you know, I've had to deal with all of that, and I'm fine with that. Like, I don't remember the context of it, but it's basically like, are you going to be okay planting a tree you never sit in the shade of? And I'm totally fine with that. Like in this version of life, I'm going to do that as many times as I can before I go. Not on purpose, but because I don't care. Representation matters. I do, but like that is very true.
What does that mean? Representation.
Like people talk like, so like if you're in a minority group, maybe like, oh, I've never seen, like there was a conversation around like Randall Cunningham, one of the first black quarterbacks. Well, a lot of black kids growing up had never seen a quarterback that was black. Like representation matters. And it does.
It's breaking the ceiling.
It does. Like, seeing, now you got gals like Caitlin Clark out there, not only just being good at their sport, being fierce competitors. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm allowed to let that out now. You're allowed to let that out before, but it's harder. And so for me, like, I've just come, like, very late into the minority group, I became disabled at 30. Other than that, white male, grew up very middle class, yada, yada, yada. And so like, I didn't have any of that perspective, but it's like, man, I think you guys got this wrong, but it's right, but it's wrong. Cause like, if representation matters isn't a call to action, it doesn't matter to me. So if I sit there and be like, oh, well, there's not really many amputees running trails and doing ultra run, I was like, so cool. So maybe I should share that story so that somebody who does need that push is now a lot more likely to go do the thing that they want to do. They want to fight and box. Maybe some 10-year-old kid who was born without a foot is going to see this. And now he gets to train when he's young, like a lot of other people are doing this. And now he's got a chance to have real skills. Me, I'm just like an athlete that likes to try new things. What if like somebody comes up and like this path will kind of already be laid a little bit. And so,
but there's one variable in there that you're kind of missing. I do agree with you with representation mattering, but you have to also understand that your mentality is different. And that like blind representation for just the sake of like representing people is not necessarily I don't think that's the catalyst that we should look through it for. I think representation matters, but what should be amplified is the work that puts in as well. So like to your point about like there's a lot of amputees that don't get into this walk or that walk of life, duly noted.
Yep.
But then look at you. It's not as if like you're some token amputee fighter. You've been putting in the work.
Correct.
You've been training. So like while I agree with you that representation matters, accountability and stepping the fuck up also matters. And if you can have both of them, then you should be praised. You will step into the boots of a trail setter, and I'm all for that, and for all the roses that come from that. But we have to acknowledge both. Like, yes, representation
100%.
matters, but also you have to do the work.
And this is why I do stuff like this and have the interviews, because we're not just talking about punching and we've not talked anything about punching or kicking technique. It's all been about everything we've discussed has been what happens between the ears to make this happen.
I know a lot of fighters that are fucking great, but then they're between the ears, they're not so great, and they look great at practice. If you hold mitts, they're like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be the WBC champion. And then they go out there and shit the absolute bed under the lights. I'll take the guy who might not be the best fighter. Like maybe technique still needs some work and all that stuff. But if his mental is strong, if he's got a steel mind, oh my God, the sky's the limit for that guy or girl.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, the biggest hack is to stay in the game.
Yes.
Like the biggest hack is to stay in the game. It's not about if it's about immediate success, and that doesn't.
You're in the wrong sport.
There is no right sport for that.
Yeah, fair.
And so, yeah, I mean, like, so like I agree. I think we just said it differently to be more.
No,
more
I think we agree. I wanted to add that also that bit about the accountability and the hard work, because I do believe in my heart of heart that hard work does pay off. It might pay off in different ways. Like there's not necessarily like this straight line between correlation of like, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to get what I want. Doesn't always work that way. But you will still get something from hard work that you cannot buy. It's like you can take a pill to lose weight, but it's not the same as going to the gym or changing the diet and putting in the hard work, because there's the other things you learn from the trials and tribulations. So like the outcome might not necessarily be achieved, or maybe it's achieved through an easier means, but that process, that path is the victory. Mm-hmm. Going through that is the victory. So like you might only have one fight. Okay.
I'm good with that.
But 3 years, it was the path. It's not the fact that you're fighting that should be lauded. It's the fact that you've been doing it for so long and got to this point and pursued it and didn't allow yourself to get like to stumble and fall. That is what should be lauded. The fight is the cherry on top. It's getting here that was hard. Now, if you told me you didn't want to train all this other stuff and you just wanted to fight, and if you look like shit, you look like shit, but I'm the first amputee in Missouri, you know what I'd say to you? I'd be like, bro, you better get in the fucking gym and put in some work, or you're going to be the first amputee that got knocked the fuck out. That's not the case.
Well, so that's the other piece of the puzzle, something that I've, I realized, and like, we're at this like golden age now where so many things are recorded and have been recorded, and we're finally getting to that point. As I sit here staring at three cameras, 3 more in our pockets.
He doesn't know the fourth one under the table.
Right? So like, we've seen how the story works now. So now the stories of early days X exist. Like I was an early day CrossFitter, like pre-Bach era, like before Reebok came into the game. And, so I've watched that grow. We've both watched the UFC grow. We go, oh, there's a lot of parallels in that process. And one of the things here's the reality, and it's not fair, and I don't care, but it isn't fair. The standard for me on March 28th for anyone else having their first fight is much higher. I have to do better than the other person, or else it would be seen as a mark against letting amputees participate. I have to go out there and be better than the average person's first fight to get the same respect, or to get for the community or for this demographic to be given the same seat at the table that anybody else would get doing the same work. it's been like that with women's sports. Like, so like we've watched it happen now with women's sports. Like, it's not enough to just be good. You have to be you have to be better. You can't just be a beginner the way everybody else is a beginner. You have to somehow be better. And like, again, it's not fair. But it is reality. Like,
I don't disagree, but my only caveat is to the uninitiated. Everybody in that community center who's a fighter, I disagree with that statement. But to the casual audience, I do agree with that statement. Because the people that understand the nuance of it and understand you or might understand the gym, they'll get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I don't think they're going to hold you to that standard.
Oh,
but the uninitiated,
the
the
optics,
ignorant, I do agree that probably is true.
Yeah, there's an optics battle.
Yes.
And there's just no way around it. And again, it's not cool. It's not fair, but it is reality.
Because here's what I'll say about fighters. At least in MMA, I don't know the most about like boxing and kickboxing because my thing was more MMA, but I want to lead to this is the truth. We do recognize one of our own, if that makes sense. Like if I see you and I know that you put into camp and I know you come from a good gym and I know the guys around you and you lose, well, dude, that's the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes we put in the work and we don't get the outcome we wanted. It doesn't diminish you as an individual. It doesn't diminish the performance or any of these things. It's just someone's got to lose. It's
how a 1v1 works.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but that is something I've learned from fighting. I've been the hammer, I've been the nail, and there have been people around me that didn't treat me any different after losses, and there have been people around me that didn't treat me any different after victories. And I think the fighting community, that anecdotal evidence is like you win, lose, or draw. The same people that love you are going to love you. The same people that are going to hug you and be around you, they're not going to treat you any different. The only difference is if we have a couple beers of joy or a couple beers of take me home.
What are we getting into?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, so, I mean,
but to your point, yes, forgive me. The casual audience, I do agree with you. You're absolutely correct.
It's how it works, and you know, it's
ignorance
like,
is.
I want to move the rock forward. Like, I'm just gonna. That's fun to me. Like, is that like I'm not doing it for anyone else, but I do. But it's a part of it. Like, it's not. It's just the reality of me choosing to participate. I'm making the choice. It's what comes with it. You know, plain and simple.
You were talking about your line of work briefly about like how you're training people. Do you mind elaborating a little bit on what that is? Like personal training?
Yeah. So sometimes it's just easier to tell people I'm unemployed. Sometimes I do that if I like, you know what, you're not going to get this and you don't want to get this and I'm not going to pacify how you feel. So very, very new school. So like I've got my personal training background. I used to coach a lot of group classes in a CrossFit setting. And as I've gotten into really finally getting to be into my life, you know, life after pain, I've just started trying new things. And then I've had a bunch of things like, oh, I understand teaching skills. And so I can walk into something, and if I understand the basics, I can coach pretty effectively. Like there's times whenever Jamie has me do technique work with people. Sometimes it's with Pat Vega, and sometimes it was somebody that just walked in and was like, hey, can you pair up with him today so they can kind of get like some, you know, a lesson in like that. Cause I understand body mechanics and I understand how to talk to people. I understand how to get people to understand what they're trying to feel. And so like, I've got like your traditional personal training, fitness, but just about anything in the wellness space has become something that I do, with remote business. I do breath work. Again, a lot of people know me as the woo-woo guy from church. You know, it's the most church thing ever to have a one-legged guy doing your strength and conditioning and breath work before the fight is all, you know, they're all like, it's the most church thing ever for me to be that guy. It's hilarious how well that fits.
Well, that's why I was asking, because I remember over the phone you were telling me that, you know, this breath work exercise and acumen that you've developed it's an interesting paradigm. I remember this was years ago, but I remember when Hicks and Gracie was on the Joe Rogan Experience, I think they spent like 30 minutes talking about breath work.
Oh, that's it?
Exactly. And before then, that was actually the first time I've ever heard of.
That was a lot of people. Hickson, in the martial arts community, Hickson's the guy that brought it.
Yeah. And I remember listening to that thinking to myself, like, if someone would have never expressed the idea, I would have never looked at breathing as anything, like not a technique. It was just like a function of living, right? Yeah. It's like something I'm doing subconsciously. Do you mind if we dive into that world slightly? So first, how did you get inundated? Like, why did you even pursue breath work?
So
what was the passion?
I actually kind of started on accident.
Okay.
This is like kind of like the funniest piece of this. So I was Air Force. I was in the combat control training pipeline, which is a special operations career field. And so I remember it started on accident and selection. One of the things that I realized, like, oh, however many they tell us we're doing, they are bound to nothing. They're allowed to lie about everything. So they say we're doing 20, we might be doing 20, we might be doing 100. And so like, or they tell you, if everybody just hangs on the bar for the next 5 seconds, 30, 40 seconds later.
Why does this 5 seconds feel like 10 minutes?
And so one of the things I started, it was hanging on the pull-up bar that was yay big around, by the way. Like, so we're all like,
you're hanging, you're not gripping.
Yeah. And so like on top of this, like they're also not looking to see how long we can hang on the bar. They want to know what you do when you can't anymore. They want to see how you respond. So they're just going to keep telling you to do more until they get the response they're looking for. It doesn't matter how fit you are, especially at that stage. They're saying who wants to be here and who can handle stress. And so like, I just remember like slowing my breathing down, and I would just count my breaths, and I would just randomly slow it back down, and then I would reset my count, and that would convince me like, oh, I hadn't been up there that long. Oh, I'm only at 5. It meant nothing. I knew that the numbers meant nothing, but it was something for me to do as I'm hanging up there while everybody else is making noises, moaning and groaning. And so I didn't know this. That was actually where I started breath work. And then I got injured, and then, super fast forward. I'm injured. I'm out. I've been discharged. I come across Wim Hof and the cold. And so the cold cold water is a tool to challenge your stress response. The tool you use to combat that stressor is the breath. That's whenever all the physiological things start to happen, is whenever you have that stress, you take control of your response and you slow your breathing back down, and then your body gets all that response. And so that was really kind of where I got started. That led me to more people who understood it more formally than I did. And then that's whenever like the real nerdy dives and the courses and the breathwork experiences and all the different dives in, from basic breathwork mechanics to performance stuff to more spiritual holotropic experiences. Like I've had full on like basically psychedelic experiences with breath work. And
sorry.
Yeah, right?
Hey man.
He's gonna be like, hey dude, how much? You got any of that in your pocket?
Can you forgive me? Because I remember when we were on the phone, you said that once before. This is where like my ignorance plays in. Like I don't understand that. Like how is that possible? You can have a psychedelic experience through breath. That's the part. Because when I think of psychedelic, I think of like some sort of external factor impeding.
And so I don't know the science of it. So I don't want to get
dude, we're on vibes here.
Yeah. So if you're listening, know that like, dude, and
some doctor's gonna be like,
yeah. If you're, I apologize for what I may or may not butcher. I'm going to keep it simple. But basically, just breathing can induce different states, and like last night, Shamrock Fights, I'm giving E-Man and Pat Vega breath work to put them into a very focused state. I'm taking all their nervous energy and we're putting it down the barrel of a sniper rifle in a sense. Sometimes it's about just calming down and cooling off.
And controlling your breath.
You're very controlled. It's all controlled. See, that's the thing. Is like, that's the difference between being wild and being aggressive. Like you can be aggressive without being a brawler. People struggle to understand that delineation, but it's there. And so like, it's all control. And then there's other, like, again, more woo-woo, like put you into this like very different state of mind where like, you're just more open and like, you're dealing with like, it's like the holotropic stuff's like, it's intense pattern. It's a really intense pattern. You gotta work and then you gotta stay there when things start to kind of like, like visions sounds a little goofy, but like, that's kind of the best way I can explain. Like I've seen things like I had experiences where like things that it tore. There we go. I knew if I mumbled enough, I would get there. Like I said, I knew I could word vomit my way here. It's kind of a way, how like guys tend to open up after practice?
Yeah.
It's a way to tear down different walls. And so like I've torn walls down that I was protecting myself from. So what led me to, I need to get my amputation was a night where I needed to figure out one more thing to take my life. That was it. Like I was there. I wanted to. Like, I thought that was the most compassionate thing I could do for the people in my life because of how bad things had gotten. And I literally just couldn't I knew that my dog would never be okay. I convinced myself that everybody else would be sad for a little while and they would do better overall. And so like terrifying. So I ran away from that version of me. I was like, I need an amputation. We got to go for the amputation. We got to do this. And I hid from that guy. And in first time I had one of these experiences, it felt like I spent 2 days with that version of Sam. And like it tore those walls down that I was protecting myself from. And like that's like the psychedelic type experience. Like you don't know what you're going to get. And not that I would ever use psychedelics or an illicit substance. But that's kind of how it works. I hear that's how it works, is that you don't get to pick.
Allegedly.
You don't get to choose. And sometimes that's something, so like I said, so it tore, like that was like my first experience with the holotropic breathing, was I had an experience with the version of myself. And then but I walked away realizing like, holy fuck, was that one tough motherfucker. Holy shit, I'm so happy he existed at that time. Because, it was hard. And he was tough enough to get me here. And so it turned from fear of that version of me to respect and gratitude that I sorted it out differently than how I wanted to that night.
Forgive me. I didn't realize I got so deep regarding the amputation, forgive me. But now I have to ask the question is, I know bits and pieces of your story regarding the decision to remove your leg, but do you mind if we dive into that?
All the way.
So you were talking to me about there was like a degradation in your leg. Forgive me.
So the super simple, not super simple timeline. September 6, 2011, swinging and banging and the combat control pipeline, trip and fall on a run. I hit a curb. The outside of my foot. I land on the outside of my foot. I remember feeling my heel touch my ankle. And in my infinite wisdom, it's just the type of environment you're in. I get up. We finish the run. Realized afterwards, so our cadre would be, if somebody fell, they yelled at you to get up, unless it was bad. Unless they saw something that was like, oh, no. This isn't a toughness question.
Yeah.
They tried to stop the run. And I thought, don't fall out, and got back in formation. That was my last moment out of pain for 9 years. I was in a constant state of pain for literally almost to the day 9 years. I developed, it was a nerve condition called complex regional pain syndrome. And
Complex regional pain syndrome, forgive me.
Yeah, the name tells you that, that means fucking nothing.
There is
it's
complex pain
it's really
in a
hard.
region.
It's really hard. I don't believe in the pain Olympics. I think it only hurts people. I think it's stupid. But there is an actual pain chart out there, and it's the only thing that's above natural childbirth. And that was 9 years of my life.
Every day?
Every moment of every day. Not it would flare up. It would flare up, but I never saw zero on a pain chart after that until the day my foot was cut off.
What was the usage of the foot like? Was it still flexible, strong? It was pain?
It worked. It just severe pain.
On everything.
All the time. And it started off as just oh man, this just really hurts all the time. And then over time, things kept getting stripped away. So again, I was doing CrossFit at the time. And I knew it hurt, and everything hurt more when I wasn't exercising, but it hurt like hell to exercise. But I was like, at least I enjoy this thing. And so I'm going to do that because everything else has been taken away from me. I'm in my early 20s. Again, I was 21 the day I got hurt. And, at a certain point, then it became couldn't run. Now I can't jump rope. Now coming off
because the pain was so much.
It would make it so much worse. Because getting out of pain just didn't register anymore. Getting out of pain didn't register. That wasn't a goal because it wasn't real.
It was like a baseline of pain, and doing these activities would be so painful.
Yeah, but
you couldn't.
But my
bear it
function
anymore.
was better if I was stronger.
Gotcha. So you're actively working uphill.
Yes, it's very Sisyphus in a sense, and I had to learn to love it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, I get the reference.
Okay. Yeah, so it's very, very like Sisyphus, and
For those that don't know, Sisyphus is the Greek ballad where the man is charged with carrying a boulder uphill and essentially will always fail, and he constantly goes back up.
day after day after day after
Day
day
after day after day.
And so that was 9 straight years of my life. Again, that was my entire 20s. And so then it was like, now I can't even come off a pull-up bar. Like coming off of a pull-up bar would put me in bad shape, extra bad shape for
With your
days.
foot?
Yes. That just even the impact of coming off a pull-up bar would crush me. And
So it was degrading over the
bad.
course of time. It was getting worse.
Yes. Then there came a point, then I had to start using I'm like late 20s. Now I need a cane
Just to walk.
to walk. I'm coaching. I'm a head coach at a gym as well. So I'm like coaching on a cane. I'm the youngest guy in the room. And then the cane wasn't enough. I needed a forearm crutch. Like the day that I had my amputation, like I could do this on my right toes, and then I would go to do it on my left, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I had a fracture in my foot I didn't know about the day of the amputation. And so like I was losing function, like genuine, like I remember sitting in my house, like Kill Bill, like the Kill Bill where she's like trying to tell her toe to move.
Wiggle your big toe.
Yeah. Like
Sorry.
that, like that makes my stomach. I feel that in my stomach when I love that movie. I love that movie. But when I watch that scene, like it's real. And like, it makes me sick because I feel, I start getting that pain, that flashback of the pain and all that sort of stuff. Like I lived that. And so, yeah, so like that was like the deterioration is like function. I had sometimes my leg just wouldn't go. Like we had a moment one time where I'm box squatting. It's kilos, 190, 419. And set rep 1, easy. Rep 2, easy. I go down to rep 3 and my left leg just doesn't go. Only my right leg pushes and I twist off the box. Really dangerous thing to have 420 pounds on your back with.
Or
in general.
any type
in general.
of weight with,
And-
not to mention
And so it's like
weight that can crush you.
Yes. And so like I ended up getting out of it, broke the box I was doing and it was a really bad moment. Like that was like one of like the really bad moments. Like I couldn't hide from it anymore. I spent a lot of this time in denial, to be fair.
I was going to, forgive me. It's like you read my mind.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a part of you that was like pushing yourself even harder as if to say like, no, fuck this. It won't affect me.
I didn't work hard in the healthy way.
Yeah.
I worked hard in the, I couldn't understand what was happening.
I'm sure you went to like doctors and stuff like that. Did that not?
VA, dog. There's no healthcare. I got offered. We're going to keep brief because I don't believe the VA deserves to deserve a big highlight in my story because of everything I've done. Outside of my amputee clinic, they deserve all the roses. I don't know if Nicole will ever listen to this, but she has massively positively impacted my life. But I was, getting my disability rating. They gave me a 0 because there was no rating schedule for my condition. So like, so it's a 0.
Still?
No. Oh no, I've sued. No, it's super real now.
Yeah.
It's
like,
pretty,
hey.
it's pretty proven at this point
Yeah.
that this thing's pretty messed up.
'Cause I know guys that are going in there with like no physical ailments whatsoever, and they're able to get
Big ratings.
big ratings for like the mental stuff. But like the mental stuff is, in my opinion,
You can't-
physical stuff is easier to prove.
Yes. I had a hard physical thing to prove.
Gotcha.
And like I said, they're like, well, we don't have a rating schedule.
nerve.
We don't have a rating schedule for that. And so like really early on, she was a nurse or a nurse practitioner or something. Basically one of these women that are basically the doctor, but they don't get paid like a doctor. And she's like, all right, so we're going to give you a prescription for Vicodin and just let us know when you need more. Like literally it was just like, and when you need more, you can have it. And I told her, I was like, hey, I don't think that's very safe. I was like, I already had issues with opiate. Like I had opiates forced down my throat when I was injured, but not discharged yet. Like I told the doctor, I was like, hey, I had withdrawals last week because my prescription wasn't ready. And I sat in my room shaking on this stuff that you guys said was a synthetic non-addictive opiate.
Yeah. Okay.
This is when Ultram was new to the market.
Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about, tramadol?
Yeah. I also,
So this is like 2011.
this one's close to me because I've had 2 friends like OD off of painkillers.
And so like I was like sick in my room from this. And so when I got out, but like I told him this, and he basically threatened to drug test me to make sure I pissed hot. I'm going to make sure this is in your system. That was how I was treated.
Jesus Christ.
And then, because I was in no man's land, there was nobody there to advocate for me. And I was just, I was just an E3. Who cares?
So you were young. You weren't that high up the ladder.
They were acting like I wanted, I was like, I could have gotten out at any point. I was in a triple volunteer situation where it was like, again, I was in special operations. I could have gotten out at any point. I didn't have to get hurt because of my contract. I wanted in. Like, I wanted in. Like, I wanted to do that job. It was the first time in my life I ever felt I was in the right place. And so this woman then tells me, she's like, so we'll just give you the Vicodin and just let us know when you need more. Like, this was like,
we'll just write you a prescription whenever you need it.
literally unlimited refills
That's wild.
on Vicodin, 30 at a time.
This is a dark question, but I have to ask it. Do you think there's any part of them that's like, well, if he ODs, that's one less person? Because that's so irresponsible.
I don't want to believe that that's true, but I will tell you, I 1000% said this to whenever. So I had to fight for my amputation as well. I got told no. I got told no, even though when I asked, well, so what else, other plan do you have to help me? We don't have one. Yeah, right. And I literally, I was like, it's almost like you guys think I'm cheaper if I go off myself in the parking lot.
Yeah. Which is, by the way, for veterans,
high rate,
pretty freaking high rate.
And this was at like the peak of that like time and space.
Yeah, 2011. So this was what, like 20?
So at this point, we're talking 2018,
2019?
1920.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 2019, 2020. And, but no, like really early on. So this is 20, like.
So after 8 years of just suffering.
Yeah, this is 2013 at this point. And I remember she had brown hair. And I remember just looking me dead in the eye when I told her, I was like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. I think this is really unsafe, and there's a reason why there's a heroin epidemic right now with veterans, and it's this stuff. I was like, I need a better solution than this. And she goes, oh, you must not be in that much pain then. Gone. Looked me dead in the eye, said that, gone. Didn't see her again. That was healthy. That was the last time they tried to help me with my CRPS. So I was alone. Like, I was completely alone on it.
This is one of the things that, not that I want to get political, but I will say this. Whenever we're having discussions like on a political realm about like, our budget and what we should spend money on, what we shouldn't spend money on, I am a proponent of like safety nets. I am a proponent of like using the system of government to kind of uplift the lowest among us because, the paradigm of life is unequal and unfair. So like there'll be those that have not. And then all you can do in a society is to try to promote meritocracy as much as possible, try to eliminate hurdles and, these pseudo preventative measures as much as possible and allow for everybody to flourish as much as they are capable of doing. Mm-hmm. However, when we start to develop safety nets, we have to start to like have the discussion of like, why does this exist? My biggest complaint, because I've always been financially conservative and then socially liberal. That's like ever since I was like 16, that was like my thing, right? Mm-hmm. I never understood this thing about like how we as a country will like go to war on the drop of a dime, but then when it comes time to handle the ramifications, the long-term ramifications, the human capital ramifications, it's as if we just treat them as they don't exist. We'll pay for the war, but we won't pay for the war. But that's the thing. That's the thing is like, I want to be careful how I say this because I'm not trying to like sound inflammatory. But like whenever I hear Republicans complain about like how much this costs, how much that costs, and all these things, I'm like, hey, if you're not happy with how much Veteran Affairs need, because that's what VA stands for, sorry. Yeah. If you're not happy with how much the VA needs on an annual basis, whatever, stop fucking having wars. It's so simple. It's there's a 1-to-1 correlation. Yeah, like more wars, more money you're gonna have to spend on this. Direct correlation. So it was always wild to me how like you can have this mentality of, and by the way, I don't even want to put this like just on one party because we've had multiple presidents from multiple parties, and it just seems like going to war is just such an easy decision. But then when it comes to like paying in terms of money and human capital and time, all the things that are necessary to like facilitate the transition to warrior and the transition back to civilian, it's as if we just don't fucking care. And that's the part that's criminal. When someone looks you right in the eyes and tells you, basically, like I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to make you sound like infantile, but you're pleading with this woman, like, hey,
Oh no, I'm desperate. Like I hadn't slept. Like at this point, I hadn't slept in over a year
because of the pain.
Yeah, I had not slept in over a year. I was desperate. I just wanted someone to help me. Again, my story should have ended very differently,
and likely could have, and thank God you're here today. And I'm like, from one man to another, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that shit had to happen the way it happened. Mm-hmm. When I think about like how I pay my taxes and everything, it's not as if I don't want my schools to be better and I don't want my roads to be better and I don't want to pay for things like this. Like, this is the whole point of, when I pay my taxes, I'm hoping it's going to this shit.
If I'm gonna pay taxes, I want my money's worth.
Because then you want to know what I think when I hear shit like this? I think, why the fuck am I paying that? I'd rather put like a rainy day fund, and then when I have someone close to me that needs like a scholarship, sorry, my throat, a scholarship for school, better I pay, like I would be a better arbiter of my own money than what we're doing now. It's not as if I don't want to pay taxes. It's just when I see where my taxes are going, and then when they're not going, it fucking drives me crazy as well. It just, it's so ass backwards, and it's not difficult. It's not rocket science. You don't have to have people off themselves because we're not providing them care. That's fucking wild. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And to be, just purely objective about it, it's like, I just want to return on my investment.
You don't want to pay disability? You don't want to give them health care and all this? Stop fucking having wars. Stop creating veterans. Simple. It's a simple solution.
Honestly.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man.
I didn't mean to hijack that.
No, you're good. Like, it's, this is, I don't say it in an inflammatory way. I don't say it in an accusatory way. But like I told you, I have no identity around being a veteran. I signed up. It's a thing I did. It's a thing I signed up for. I knew how bad the pay was. I knew how bad the leadership is. There's no worse kept secret than what it's like to be in the military. I just felt that this was something I was capable of, and I slightly believed that I could make a difference. Plain and simple. I felt I was capable of it, and that was the best use of my time. And so, but again, I knew what I was getting paid. It's all public knowledge. Like I knew, you knew how it works. And like,
I think that's even worse than to be like when I say that's even worse, I mean, it's kind of like how I feel about teachers and like their pay and salary and stuff like that. It's like you acknowledge how important this is. Every time there's a fucking speech, it's like, oh, thank you for your service and all this other shit. But it's like, thank you for your service. Like, okay, well, your thank you didn't pay my rent. And it's like, I want to be careful how I say this. There seems to be avenues in which government assistance are easily more attainable for people who have not paid the same price and don't necessarily walk the same path as you have, but will get better service than you. And that's the part that irritates me the most, is because like, you shouldn't take the people that do feel that patriotism or do feel that calling, because then that's something I didn't feel. Mm-hmm. So like you had a thing greater than I. We shouldn't then treat you like dog shit. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, the military fucking sucks and like all this. I want to be careful how I say that. That's a hyperbolic statement. Let me take that back. Forgive me.
There's pieces of the military.
There are pieces of
that
the
are really disappointing.
Thank you. Sorry, I need to check myself.
And so like where I was going there was that, everybody wants to tell me how much they love the troops and how much they appreciate my service and this, that, and the other before they even know I served. They just know that I'm younger, in shape, and missing a leg. So assumptions get made. I avoid certain crowds because I know how it's going to be. Like, if you guys were like, so like, there comes a point like you would be like, if you really like cared about my service or had that feeling, you would not accept how the VA is run.
Yeah.
That would be a common conversation by people not in the military. And until that happens, I really just don't. Like, that's why I don't get any of the feels on Veterans Day or Memorial Day. Like, it's cool. And, kids, like, I can feel the difference. Like, a kid is like, like, oh, my grandpa did this. And he's like my grandpa, and I love my grandpa. And, like, I feel it. That's different. And, like, I actually struggled with that for a really long time. Was being told, thank you for your service. And, and I was really fortunate to be gifted that perspective by a guy that runs an organization called 50 for the Fallen. And as we were doing this, like, 50-mile ruck. And he talked about this. He's like, they're not thanking you. They're thanking their grandpa that they never maybe got to meet, or their uncle or their brother that didn't come back. And like, you are that to them. And you're like, oh.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
And so like, that helped me out a lot. Like, that's one of those things that made my life feel a lot better. But when people are just like, want to wave their America on Memorial Day, like, oh, cool, I get to wear my American flag silkies and go get hammered. Well, I'm so glad my buddy. I'm so glad my buddy fucking died for that. Like, cool. I'm so glad you got to have a sale. Like, if I ever die and you write a stupid workout or have a sale in honor of my death, fuck you. like seriously, like, oh my gosh, like it, but like but in the end, it's like whatever, that just whatever. That part doesn't bother. Like, I don't like it. I mean, that sounded like it bothered me. It doesn't bother me the way that sounded, but like, just don't attach.
Sorry, we're both just
don't attach me to it.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
but like, if you were truly as passionate about thanking me for my service, you would refuse to let the whole VA situation die. Instant, like end, done. Like if that's truly how you felt about it, then there's no way to truly feel that way about like that in your heart, and you not feel compelled to be like, whether or not it's annoying the hell out of your representative or whoever whatever you have to do in order to make like change happen in the VA. That's what you would do if that's how you really felt. Like that would be a hot button topic every presidential election, every election. That would be a hot button topic.
I go back to my statement about I hear the same people that want to, fight the next battle then also talk about fiscal conservatism. And I'm like, hey, I'm down to be fiscal. I'm down for fiscal conservatism. I am. And I do believe that we need to get our house in order. But at the same time, we should
pass an audit.
We should pass an audit. But like at the same time, there are things that like, I am not one of these people that think like, private enterprise solves all problems. I don't think that like, I think that government should step in place in certain situations and certain areas because they're not necessarily profitable endeavors that someone's going to invest in and go into, right? And by the way, there are some industries you don't want to profit from. Incarceration's one of them. Veterans affairs.
Medicine?
I mean, I that's a tough one because there's an argument about the economic incentive for research and development
to drive innovation.
But then it gets into a slippery slope when you're offering such tax subsidies and all these like other abilities to kind of offset that cost. And then when it comes time for the profitability, that is unfettered. Like the COVID vaccine is like the prime example of that. It's like we fund it, but then we don't get any sort of continuation. I mean, maybe the COVID vaccine with how it's leading now is maybe a bad example. But what I'm trying to say is like, you cannot offload the risk to us and then you are the arbiter of all the profits. Like if you want that profitability, that's fine, but then you have to take the risk just like in every other industry, right? So like, I want to be careful. I am a capitalist at heart and I do believe in the financial systems that we have, but I don't necessarily believe in like unfettered capitalism because that's an Ouroboros.
So I think everything can work.
Yes.
Like one of like the beauties of like my world in fitness and wellness, thousands and thousands of people have lost 100+ pounds just doing cardio. I know that you shouldn't just do cardio though, if we're going to take care of our health. Thousands and thousands of people have lost 100+ pounds just lifting weights. I know you shouldn't just lift weights. I love it, but you shouldn't just lift weights. Thousands of people have lost over 100 pounds doing freaking Zumba. Everything can work with consistency, adherence to a plan, and checks and balance. Like, so everything can work. I cannot support how capitalism is being utilized currently, but yes, I agree that that's going to drive more innovation, more this, that, and the other. It's just, like how it's being done.
Also,
like,
just because something works doesn't mean it can't work better.
Correct.
Like, okay, you lost 100 pounds, but like maybe you can also be a little bit more toned. So
we can be healthier.
Yeah.
I think that's the better language there.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that like, I'm not making the argument that two things can be true at the same time.
Yes.
This can be the best system that's been invented.
And you're currently doing it like shit.
And you're currently doing it like shit. Exactly. It's like we could be in the nicest car and be awful drivers.
That's how I feel. Like,
I would...
Like
if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have disagreed. I'm not going to lie to you. As the days go on, I get more and more black-pilled. But forgive me, because this isn't a macroeconomic conversation. This is more of a conversation about you. I mean, unless you wanted to be, please.
No, I definitely am not. This is not me, because I'm like, tell me who's doing a good job so I can get on someone's team.
We went from breath work to like, so here's what's wrong with capitalism.
Yeah, we're going to exhale for 8.
Forgive me. We were talking about the path that led to the amputation, and we were talking about if I take a step back to what caused the derailing, the conversation that you had with that VA nurse.
Yes. All right. So that's I didn't get any care from there on, really. Like I was on my own, like plain and simple, and that's how it went.
How was the amputation as a variable? How did that ever get birthed? Like, was it something that you did research on?
So
was it something that they
was at the Arnold Sports Festival, if you're familiar. I was on a cane at this point, not doing so hot. And I'm walking by and some woman just goes, "Hey, you mind if we talk?" Some veterans organization. And she was an amputee. She's like, "I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm being rude here." She's like, "Were you by any chance military?" I was like, "Well, used to." And she's like, "What's going on? Do you mind if we ask what's going on?" You know, our organization tries to help. And like, they didn't end up doing anything. That organization didn't end up doing anything, but turned out she had the same condition, same location, similar mechanism. Universe delivered. The universe delivered in that. And she basically was like, my amputation solved the issue. And so that's what planted that seed. And then, so I'm with my, well, now ex-wife, but we're my, at the time, wife and I are there. And I was like, immediately my brain is just like running all the scenarios. That's just how my brain works. And I'm running the scenarios and trying to like spinning, and she could just tell. And so we're a 6-hour drive from Columbus, and we spent a good bit of it talking about what if it comes to that? What if it comes to that?
like what it would look like.
Yeah. And so like I had become very big on just do my best. And that's where the chop wood carry water thing came into play with me, and was in this process like, cool, I'm not doing very good right now, but I can still do my best of what I have. And so it was very on there. And so I was like, all I gotta do is give myself a chance. I talk about luck being preparation and an opportunity. I was trying to be lucky. I was trying to be prepared should an opportunity, because at this point there was still not even a glimmer of a light at the end of the tunnel. And we're 7-8 years in. And so, you know, we had that conversation about what this could look like. What if it comes to this? How do we feel? And basically, but within that drive, we knew that like we had come to the conclusion together that if this is what needs to happen, we're doing it. And by the end of that year, it needed to happen. Contacted the VA, contacted my doctor. I refuse to acknowledge this woman as a doctor. Tell her like, hey, this is what's going on. I would like a consult to see a surgeon about an amputation. And she tried to just say no. Like, that's pretty extreme. I was like, what I'm dealing with is pretty extreme, ma'am. Like, and it's round and around, and it got nasty. Like, yeah, I don't want to go back on another VA bender. But it got nasty. Long story short, almost a year of that fighting, I ended up penning a 4-page letter, basically writing out the timeline of everything that had gone on since I requested the amputation, proving what in the civilian world, what would have been malpractice. Like really, like one of my personal training clients, he's a career malpractice lawyer and has defended doctors his whole career. He's like, oh, we would never let this go to the court. Like he's like we
would settle because we would lose
he's
our
like
ass.
this settlement would be huge. He's like, I'm really sorry that you can't do anything about this.
Wait, why can't you do anything about it? Because it's VA?
Yeah, you can't sue.
You can't sue the VA for malpractice.
I think you can.
Can you Google that real quick? I'm sorry.
If you can, I think it's very recent.
Okay.
But anyway, like
That is fucking wild.
like active duty, you cannot.
Well, okay, active duty would make a little bit more sense because, I mean, there's like stresses and variables, but you're not active duty. So,
No.
like,
So very unethical behavior. The word collusion got like, I was like, you guys are literally working. Like I use this in there, and it was literally 4 pages, and I was like, it was just all facts. And one of those things, like one of my big like issues with, you know, to gently touch on the political thing is like, if the truth is on your side, you don't have to sensationalize anything. Just tell the truth.
It has to be like a federal lawsuit though, so it's like more of a pain in the ass because you can't go through the state.
Oh, federal lawsuit, but you can for malpractice, but through the federal courts.
Yeah, and it has to be 2 years within your injury, and yeah, 6 months.
So you're out of
on your claim, and then deny it.
So you're out of like just
Qualified
statute
immunity.
of limitations.
This is like qualified immunity.
So fucking wild.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
rough. But yeah, so at the end of the letter, I literally just signed it off with, I would like so there's the Community Cares Act, and the Community Cares Act entitled all veterans care outside of the VA if they cannot be seen within 30 days. So I was like, I would like my referral out of the VA, or I'm sure I'm sure local media would love to run this story.
So they gave it to you.
It took 36 hours. It took 36 hours, and I had an appointment. It was amazing, fastest I've ever seen the VA work. On top of this, here's the funny part. One of the most qualified surgeons in the entire planet was at the Center for Advanced Medicine. He was 20 minutes up the road the whole time. Literally like a specialist for my case. Because I had a complicated case. Like, the VA doesn't have a surgeon that should have done my amputation, to be completely fair.
Because of the nerve damage?
The nerve complication
Okay.
was very complicated. But he'd made a passion project out of this. Like, this is like a thing that he was very passionate about, has, again, my amputation ended up getting like presented on multiple continents. Like, he's presented my surgery multiple times in multiple like big time deals. Like, and again, he was in St. Louis the whole time. He's in Michigan now, you know.
Do you know the doctor's name off the top of your head?
Felder.
Shout out Dr. Felder.
She saved my life. And so, yeah, it took him 20 minutes. Took him 20 minutes to be like, well, what else are you going to do? And he's like, you take care of yourself. You do all these things that if you could get out of pain, you're going to heal just fine.
And you're an in shape guy. You're showing
Like,
aspects of a healthy lifestyle.
yes, like
It's not like an amputee of like I want to be careful how I say this.
I wasn't like I had lifestyle issues.
Exactly. It's not
I had like all of my lifestyle. I was a dream.
yeah.
I was a dream to operate on, except you don't want to operate on a healthy person. Like, you know, that was like something that the VA kept putting in my notes. Perfectly healthy 29-year-old seeking amputation. Like, something's not perfectly healthy about that, dog.
Seems like an oxymoronic statement.
Right.
Just saying.
But I had multiple notes that led like that. But so, yeah, and he is amazing. You know, we scheduled the amputation. We did it 3 weeks after we met. I was ready to go. And woke up out of pain literally for my first moment in 9 years.
Wow.
It was insane. Plus, it was also like my first surgery. So I had never come out of anesthesia. I'd never had those drugs.
What was that like?
Your boy was high. I was high as a kite, man. Oh, man.
That's the good shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what his other thing is like. He's like, we got to get you out of pain for some time because your brain doesn't know what to do without it. And like,
Wow, that is fucking dark.
he's like, well, I mean, so
You were in pain for so long.
A whole
you
decade.
literally did not know how to not be in pain.
1/3 of my life. 1/3 of my life.
That's dark.
A straight 33% of my life in one consecutive block. Constant pain. And now I wake up without it. And now I said something really ridiculous off the wall whenever he handed the phone. It was my wife. And I think I said, "What's up, thug?"
What's up, though?
And I was like, it worked. It doesn't hurt. And and everyone's dying. So I must have been on one before I came to. But the first thing I remember was Dr. Felder handing me like an old school, like handheld phone. And I'm talking to her because it was late and it was after visiting hours. So I couldn't see her that night. And
How long, if you know this, how long did the surgery take? Like
9 hours. I was under for 9 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently it was something else.
Well, I mean, when you're adding the complexity of the surgery, that's why I was curious.
Yeah. So
Dude,
yeah.
shout out Dr. Felder in the fucking
man. Like, how do you
on the court for 9 hours?
Right. Like, it's insane to think about like the physical feat that he performed there. And again, obviously every day I get to benefit from it. And
The doctors are the one, like, whenever we have this conversation about like education, like, do you need a college degree and stuff like that? I stand behind my statement of like,
Sometimes.
I don't think you need a college degree for like 90% of the stuff, but the 10% you do. You do. Exactly. Like, I say there's a couple things you never want to like get a deal on: a good accountant, a good doctor, and a good tattoo artist. And a lawyer. Those four. Like, don't fuck around with those. Just pay the money and get good service.
Yeah. So like, yeah, woke up like it was nuts. Like, it was an emotional roller coaster. Like, from like, this is amazing to like just sobbing to just like all of it for like the next couple of days. Like, again, it's also just the emotional toll of everything was coming to rest, and it was a lot. And so then, yeah, it was just so much. Like I remember there'd be a point where like you knew what was going on, and like we literally like Hannah and I we started calling. She'd be like, oh, you're pinging, or I'd be like, oh, I'm pinging. It was just like a ping pong ball was bouncing around in my brain because my brain had all this space it wasn't used to having.
Because you were so occupied with pain.
Pain, yep. Like there was so many people in my life. So something like that people don't understand about chronic pain is like it's hard to have relationships, and your relationships. You're not the same person. When you're not the same person, you tend to lose your relationships. And I lost a lot of them. And so when I got friends, family, the whole nine.
Since the amputation, has there been an ability to remedy some of these relationships, or is it still recent? Perhaps.
I don't hold it against anyone. Everyone's forgiven. Whether or not we've had to come to Jesus or not, most people don't have the capacity to own their like how I was treated. But I'm a big Kid Cudi fan. I literally have these lyrics like tattooed on my arm, and at the end of his song Ghost, he kind of repeats this thing. It's like, I hope they understand that I really understand that they don't understand, and they didn't understand what I was dealing with because I couldn't explain it. And I understand that they didn't understand. And I'm okay with that. I'm fully in peace. It was hard, and it would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot cooler if I could have, gotten a little bit of love. But obviously I've survived. But there was like so many people like that I knew. I was like, this is our first time. Like the first time I saw my wife after my surgery was the first time I ever interacted with my wife not in pain. Like we'd been married for a couple of years at that point.
Jesus.
And it was the first time I was ever not in serious pain. Like all of that was a dynamic of all my relationships. Like this is my first time interacting with you not in pain. And then that changed me again. So a lot of those relationships haven't survived because they've not appreciated my growth. If people who don't change don't like people that do change.
Oh yeah.
And that's just becomes like, understand that's just a cycle of Sam's life.
Well, the other variable in that is like I ask more from like the human element, but like also people are gonna throughout life. If you're over the age of 30, you'll know this easily. If you're under, give it some time.
It's about to be true.
People will come into your life and people will leave your life. And I had a professor in college that hit me with a bunch of quotes that like I regurgitate ad nauseum as if it's my intelligence, but it's not. It's number one thing that he said was like, people are not homosexual, heterosexual, whatever. He's like, people are sexual. I was like, oh, that one kind of hit close to home. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's a good way to look at it. It is like, given the right circumstances, given the right variables, you'd be surprised at what you would do, right? But he also told me that relationships are not this static condition, that people will come and go, and what you should start looking at people as is obviously they've been given the grace of God by God, the same as you. So you should acknowledge them as God's creation, which I thought was like a beautiful sentiment to that. But also that regardless if they gave you a bad experience or a good experience, regardless if they were an enemy or a friend, whatever, they were in your life, and through their input, you deviated from that. It created the person you are today. So thank them for that. Whether they were there as a negative or they were there as a positive, they were there. And that helped shape you. And I remember him saying that. And I was like, when someone says something and you feel it in your soul, is like, that's correct. That's honest truth. Yeah. I was like, damn. And thank God, shout out to Professor Tim Wall, not Tim Walls, Walser. Tim Walser. Yeah, I was about to say the Minnesota governor was my professor now, but Tim Walser, he was a fucking G, and he taught me a lot. But the reason I asked was more for like that closure for you as an individual, right? You don't have to continue being friends.
Yeah. So I feel closure on all of it for sure. Like whatever that even means. Yeah. Like I don't carry it around with me. Like I don't think like, oh fuck this guy, I'm gonna get him back. It's
or that you're holding it on. Like,
yeah. Like
dragging.
I don't have time to carry that weight. Like I don't have time to carry that anymore. I've got things to do, people to fight, experiences to have, places to see, and why would I carry that with me to these places and these things? And I'm in control of my life finally. And if I can't drop that, then no, I'm not in control of my life. And I don't, that's not what I did this for. I didn't come this far to come that far. You know, so it's led to a lot of that growth and a lot of that sorting out process. And there's been plenty of pain and more is coming. You know, I'll just keep learning and keep working. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, like one of the things about like forgiveness is it's not a two-way street. Like if I'm forgiving someone, it's just, all I have to do is do that. Like I don't need a response. I don't need there's not a particular, you can say, I don't know. I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
And it can be totally internal. You don't even have to
right.
express it.
Exactly. Like, and so it's just not like, I can't come up with the supporting argument to not be like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I am.
What's the alternative? Jaded, angry.
Like I don't want to be.
You just got out of pain to what? Put yourself in emotional pain.
Yeah, like exactly. Carry like what happens if you like? That's I work with people like on the life coaching side. Like, all right, well, what's the consequence if you don't think about this thing? Well, nothing. Sounds like a bad thing.
Sounds like a win to me.
Did you just tell me how you want to win? Like, cool. You know, it's like I said, it's like, it's just not worth it. Like so much, like life is incredible. Like this is, for as rough as things are, it's still an incredible opportunity.
I say that, this is dark, but no, I don't know if it's actually dark. I say that even if your life is complete shit, what a blessing it was to have a life that is complete shit. Like there are untold trillions upon whatever people that were never even here to have this experience. Mm-hmm. And maybe this experience wasn't the best experience by this experience's standards, but at least you had an experience.
And you also don't know how it's going to sort itself out yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I had a really close friend of mine. She likes to write. She likes to write like in like the fantasy sci-fi world. And she was like, I want to do a character kind of based on you. And it's like, so there's going to be a physical. And she was like, but here's like the thing. She's like, here's what I don't know what to do with. And she was like, by the end, they're going to receive the opportunity to be healed. Mm. And she's like, do you take that out? And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, you mean give away the thing that made me who I want to be? Absolutely not. Like, that's the opposite of gratitude. Like, why would, like, this isn't how I envisioned my life. This is not the plan. But who I'm becoming, I knew at 10 years old I could be this person. Now, no one around me believed it. And I made the mistake of believing them. But I don't anymore. But 10-year-old Sam knew what could happen. And he didn't know it was going to include missing a digit. He didn't know this, that, or the other. So, yeah, like the amputation was like the greatest gift I ever gave myself. Because it gave me a chance. And so that's all I've ever asked for since, is like, I just want a chance.
To piggyback off of that, can you walk me through that transition? I mean, we were talking about this, you know, your 20s essentially being robbed from you from pain and frustration and a myriad of other negatives. And then you're presented a new life, free from pain, but not necessarily free from, you know, some additional hurdles. So like, obviously you wake up from the bed, the pain is immediately gone, but you're also, like you said, missing a digit. What was it like physical therapy, getting used to the prosthetic? Oh, yeah. How is that? Because obviously I'm ignorant to this. I don't know.
Yeah, so like. I mean, for me, it was awesome. It worked. Yeah. I finally had my body was finally working for me.
Wow.
And so like.
So you looked at it as a positive.
Yeah, this one works the way it's supposed to work every single time. And the other one didn't. And so, yeah, so it's just a big learning process. Like, you know, my vernacular around my house changed, you know. I tell people, oh, I got to go see my prosthetist today. If you get some double, like, this is just the most normal word in my life. you know, you start learning all these, you know, socket, pylon, liner, socks, all these things now mean different things. Trying to figure out what kind of shoes to wear, you know, like figuring out how to put a shoe on this thing was terrible. Like, sorry. It was like you don't realize how helpful it is to be able to drop your ankle down and push your foot in the damn shoe. And I can remember just be like, I'm not leaving the house today because I can't get this fucking shoe on and I'm tired of fucking with it. Like that happened. Like there's also like, so there wasn't not frustration. I just chose to not let that be the star of the show anymore.
Yeah.
And, this is kind of, and in that process, I like learning and I like progress. Like, we were talking about get the reps. It's like, you're not promised success, but you are guaranteed progress. And so I just keep chasing progress and haven't stopped. And so like, this is where I kind of came to some of this sort of stuff, there was, I don't remember who said it. I want to say it might've been like Jim Carrey or something like that. And talked about how optimism is only, sustainable through gratitude. And I was like, kind of. My answer to that was like, yeah, but most people don't understand gratitude. Like, but at least not the way I do. Really. And like, so for me, like, it was understanding that for me, gratitude isn't just saying thank you. Like, I have to do the whole thing. Like, recently diagnosed on the spectrum. So that's been a whole big learning curve for myself. And again, it was funny. The number of people are just like, especially at church, was like, "Oh, we knew."
Yeah.
Oh, we knew.
It's funny that you say that. Joey DeFranco is also like, he's like 38 years old and recently diagnosed.
Yeah. And so like, this is explaining a whole lot of things in my life, but I'm having to rehash a whole lot. But, so for me, one of those things is I need to know all of it. I like the whole story. That's why I like long form content. And, so to my point, I was like, okay, so optimism being positive, gratitude being grateful, thankful, whatever word you want to put in there. To me, gratitude is acknowledging the good and the bad of everything. Not refusing, not saying just smile. There's a lot of heart in this. And sometimes this hurts. And sometimes I don't get around as well. And some days I have to stay out of my leg and I lose my day. Some days, and when I learned it, it was really frustrating. And, I still had to learn how to, my sleep was so disordered. So I had to learn how to sleep again. There was a lot of really hard. It's like acknowledging, yeah, that's very true. But so is the silver lining. So is like the thing that I'm learning from this. So is the thing that I'm gaining from this. And then gratitude to me was choosing where I shine my light. That to me, I can't have gratitude until both have to be acknowledged. That was like people love to like, they were uncomfortable with this conversation. Like before my amputation, like, well, everything happens for a reason. You mean, the people love
Does it though?
No, it's bullshit.
The reason is like
that's what people say when they're uncomfortable and they don't know what to say, and they want out.
Well, it's a very low IQ argument.
Yeah, because I tripped and fell on a run in Biloxi, Mississippi.
That's happened for a reason.
Tell me how that pacifies what I'm dealing with, And so like,
sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that.
No, it is objectively funny. I just happen to be the only
butt of the joke.
I just happen to be the only one it's not funny for. I can acknowledge this. Like there's times whenever like, hey guys, if I understand I may fall here, understand. I know it's objectively funny. You're allowed to laugh. I'm giving you the G pass on this one.
Do you think a sense of humor helps with all of this? The ability to,
a lot of people say that there are people who believe I don't have one.
Really?
I'm so objective about things.
I didn't get that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with it. It's just they don't like my objectivity. Again, I don't think that fucking off is fun. I think success is fun.
I'm with you. With you.
And so there's people who say, no, yeah. I mean, the question is, do you have a sense of humor or are you hiding from what you need to deal with?
Well, some would say that those are both the same.
I would say that there's overlap in the Venn diagram.
A little Venn diagram, yeah.
Say the Venn diagram exists, but like, yeah, if that's the only thing that you can do and things are hard, then I don't buy it.
I think it's a cope at that point.
Yeah, at that point, if it's the only thing you're doing, my dog. So I've got two dogs, and one of them is a very aggressive hugger. He's a little pointer, and oh man, he loves to jump up, and he jumps up and he gets as tight as he can on you, and his elbow will sometimes just catch me right in the shaft. And it's not heavy, but it's sharp.
It's uncomfortable.
And I just like slowly drop. I was like, I understand that this is funny. You're allowed to laugh. like that's not for me. That's just like, so they don't have to fucking feel weird about what's happening. Like stuff like that. Yeah. That's more my brand of humor. Yeah, if you're just like, anytime something happens, like you just can't ever be serious. Or you can't ever talk about something straight on. Yeah, that's a cope. Cope is is that the new age word for it?
Well,
Is that the new slang?
maybe. I have a buddy who, a good friend of mine, long-term friend, and I think the world of him. But one of the things he does is like he is very self-deprecating humor, shits on himself all the time,
Always?
and laughs always to the point where I sat down with him.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. I sat down with him and I go, listen, I love you. I think you need to go see a therapist.
Yep.
And he was like, what? I was like, one-offs make sense. There's no shortage of things to make fun of yourself on. But when that is your like go-to, when that is your stasis, it makes me think that there's like actually like deep down, you don't like yourself. You don't like who you are. You don't like what you've become because you shit on yourself so hard.
At minimum, you refuse to have a relationship with yourself.
Yeah. I think it's cope because it's like you're trying to mask your insecurity or the dislikes that you have internally with humor to make it seem like you've accepted it. In reality, you haven't. I want to stress this. I am not a therapist. I don't know these things. This was like as a friend reaching out to a friend. So like, don't at me. But this was the vibe that I was getting. I was like, bro, this is like for 3 years. Like this is your go-to.
This isn't comedic.
Yes, like everyone else is laughing, but I've heard the joke now so many fucking times that I believe it. Does that make sense? Like, at what point does it stop becoming a joke?
It's like this is your only play.
Yeah,
and it's on repeat.
It's unhealthy.
If you were funny in a comedian sense, you'd have written a new joke by now.
Yes. Or you would make fun of the same attribute, but in a different way.
A new joke.
Yeah.
A new angle. You'd at least would have refined.
You would have got creative.
Like that. That's comedic. Like that's comedic art. And being funny and goofy is one thing, but again, it's.
Well, I also think that humor can help. Like
absolutely.
It helps me get over a bunch of shit.
100%.
But I don't use it as a placebo. Like if there is an underlying problem, it is best to like attack it and overcome it and change it than to just mask it with humor.
Also, with the way my brain personally works, I have to do that first,
and then you can make fun of it after,
and then that can happen. Like that's and I've also I understand that's how Sam works. That's how Sam's brain works.
Yeah, fair.
But it makes you very sensitive to that vibration whenever it's not like that. Nothing's being sorted out here.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was over the course of time, and it's not like I went up to him like first time that happened. It was just something that I've observed, and I just don't think there's a fine line between humor and like self-hate. I don't know if that makes sense,
or at least a lack of self-love,
or a lack of self-love.
And people struggle to love themselves. I did. I had something. One of the things that I've sorted out. Like it was only the last couple of years that I actually could like just be proud of something of myself without conditions. It was all conditional to myself.
Can you elaborate? Like, what does that mean? Like
I'd be like, oh yeah, like okay. So here's like a handful of like things that I've done as an amputee. I was on the first all adaptive team to qualify for and compete in a major CrossFit competition in the able-bodied category. I have 5 world records in the Scottish Highland Games. I have climbed a mountain up in Ecuador, climbed the 3rd highest active volcano on Earth, over 19,000 feet, my very first time ever at altitude. I forget at this point, to be honest.
When your resume's too long.
I just don't care. I don't
Bro,
care.
The best humble brag.
I just don't
I've just
care.
done so much shit I forget.
There's some people like I picked up like friends along the way, and so like they remember me from this thing, but I like
the side quest log is too full.
But doing all these things, I felt I didn't feel proud of myself for breaking 5 world records in one day in the Highland Games. I didn't have like a sense of pride, or like I was like, oh yeah, it was pretty good, but I had conditions on it, like it's good for this, or if I'd have done that, but just actually being like, no, I accomplished something, and I feel really good about it, and just being allowed to actually feel that's recent. That's a recent Sam development, and that was a lot of work. Very pro therapy. I've done a lot of it. I've done a lot of internal work. I turn stones like crazy, and so that's more what I mean. It's like people are like, oh, the people that they can't accept a compliment. I struggle to accept a compliment.
So do I.
And
why do you struggle to? Or do you still? Sorry, do you still?
I just don't think it's special. I don't know why it's special to you. And I know why I don't think that is because I was there the whole time. I know everything that I missed. I know everything that could have done better. And my brain is kind of problem solving like that. And I need, like, one of my things I work on is trying to give that part of my brain a break.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's okay to be like,
thank you.
To love what just happened.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't as perfect as like you felt it could have been. And so like, or like, you know, because another word that inspiration. I struggled that was like the most skin crawling like thing early on with my prosthetic. And, you know, yeah, I'd be at the grocery store. Such an inspiration. You're out here doing this. Like, I'm buying bread. Like, I'm just buying bread, man. Like, this is disgusting that you think that little of me. But I don't even remember where the light bulb came off. But like, this is something I've gotten good at is perspective and empathy through all of this, because I don't think that I was naturally born with it. But I've learned big time. And also I just realized like, because everybody gets empathy completely wrong. They think empathy is what I would do if I was in that situation. That's just not what empathy is. Empathy is what if you were in that person's shoes with that person's life experience, in that person's stress level experience, and then in that situation, what would you do? That's empathy. And I've learned to get good at that because I've just lived life from a lot of different perspectives. I was, younger, older, sibling, playing these sports, being in a military vet, special operations guy, discharged, injured, and fucked up, alone, together, married, divorced, like all of these different pieces. Amputee, like I've lived all these different lives, and like the world looked different every single time.
Yeah, dude. Highs and lows. Holy shit.
And so it's like, I can't sit there and be like, what would Sam today do in Sam 21? That's not empathy. And so like getting that sort of stuff and like realizing that, and like, but so like with the inspiration, it's like, what inspire? It was like, it's like people, like the things that inspire me, people think are weird. Maybe they find it like I get inspired by weird things, or like I get like the feels for people for different things, and I'll see like different deeper layer stuff that like makes me like feel like, well, we went 1-1 last night, and one of the guys that lost, it was his first loss, and he's very, very talented. He's going to be a problem. Fought a dude technically probably way out of his league in a sense. And man, I felt so bad for him, for having, because that emotion, that first loss sucks.
Yeah.
It hurts. And I feel for every single one of my fighters. If we have 7 fights in one night and we get 6 first round losses and one guy loses a razor close decision, I'm going to have a hard time not just feeling for the dude that lost the whole time, no matter how much I loved all the guys. But also, like, we were talking about it a little earlier, with the fighters, you get the love. And, our crew was out there for both of them the exact same. Yeah. And like, it was like, I just remember thinking like how happy I was that he had that.
The community and the camaraderie. I've done a lot of things. I will say that if there is any one aspect about a martial arts gym that is the most important, it's actually not about the martial arts. It's about the community.
Oh, 100%.
It's about the people around you.
Well, I don't think you can separate the two. In true of martial arts, like let's like truly be like the martial art. Those two things aren't separate. Culture is just is.
I guess if I were to like do a pie chart of like what's like, okay, what would make like the best gym, whatever.
Okay.
The majority of it would actually not be the martial arts technique. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
I know I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You know what I mean? It'd be.
I think for you to
the coaches, whether or not they're more, of a mentor or just kind of like disassociated. There's the businessman who they chose to run a gym. The people around there, are they just, coming and going, or is there a sense of community? Do they stick around? Do they have conversations? Do they hang out outside of the gym? And, the beauty about martial arts is I believe that one of the best things that I got from martial arts was actually like perspective, because like I was living my path, but then there was a plethora of people from different paths, all culminating towards a shared experience, shared love for a craft, right? Mm-hmm. And it got me to have conversations that I would not have had because I would never have been exposed to these people. I would have never listened to their stories, listened to their perspective, listened to their trials and tribulations. And it changed the the fabric in which I walk this earth, and I'm thankful for that. So I would just make that comment of like, he may have lost that one particular fight, but hopefully we can acknowledge this, but hopefully he understands that when he wakes up this morning, man, how lucky am I?
Yep. And so like, yeah, so like that was like this like awesome, like I just was like so like happy for him. Like
That he has
that.
that.
Like, man, I hope he, has already put that
Knows
together.
it, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Well, hopefully he listens to this.
right. At some point. On top of that, him and I have just done a lot of sparring rounds, our fights being 2 weeks apart. So it's just kind
Shared
of,
camp.
yeah, just shared camp. But yeah, it's like the inspiration is like just realizing like, oh, inspiration's relative.
Yeah, it's
So it comes from where you're at.
and it's different for every individual.
And so like I can tell when I'm getting a hollow, they think, oh, person with disability, you're inspirational. There's no thought. And other people are like, there's something about what I'm doing that strikes a chord with them. And it like, that's the path to go on. And so like, I hate, like, it's not a motivation to be an inspiration, but I don't like, my skin doesn't crawl anymore. Like I'll be like, more for me, I'm just trying to model. I'm trying to be an example.
A mentor.
Yeah, kind of going back to like the representation matters, like kind of concept we dove into like 3 hours ago, and just like more just getting into like the fact like I want to like be an example of what I'm saying. Like yes, I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna talk about it and I will verbalize it, but I want you to just be able to watch me operate and learn and like, oh, that's how we get it done.
I think that's the only way to do it and be that. You cannot be a trendsetter, or you cannot be a mentor who's never
Agreed.
who's never walked the path that they're preaching.
It's that little boss versus leader.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
I mean, front. Are you in the front or in the back?
Are you leading by example, or are you issuing from mount on high? I agree with that 100%.
Oh, dude, very few things are more true on the internet than that little picture that floats around.
And it's funny. I want to be careful how I say this. I've had.
Could it be the 4 cameras on you?
Yeah, I've had both. And I will honestly say, this is the dark part about this, that both can work, but both can't work for me. Going back to that like individual thing, it's like some people.
I would caveat yours as you've caveated mine. No, only one can work if everybody is motivated, and inspired to take care of themselves. Like the people that like just the boss thing works for, these are people that are not invested and engaged in their life.
I agree.
And they're already, you've already checked out and you're not trying.
You're like an NPC. You're just going through the motions.
Exactly. Like, and if you call that working, okay, but
I would make the argument that boss who reigns from Mount on High is also an NPC.
Probably.
Because a true leader, like, you rise to that occasion on your own. You feel that calling.
Yeah, if you're actually like that leader versus boss,
it's not even a foregone conclusion.
You couldn't sit with doing that.
Yes,
you would have to leave that operation. You'd be like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to do my job here. I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
I can't do this. This doesn't sit right with me.
You look out and like everybody's busting their ass and all that stuff, and meanwhile you're just kind of coasting, or you're just doing whatever your boss told you to do. You're gonna go crazy yourself. I was in a position where like they wanted to put me in a leadership position over a team, but they didn't give me the autonomy that I would have required to be a leader in that team. So I turned down the position, and they were like, no one ever does this. Like, are you kidding me, Ariane? Like, the money and all this other stuff. I go, I don't care. I want to hire. Like, if I want to do this, you can't tell me that I'm going to take on a team of people from the previous guy that I knew. Like, I knew the structure. I knew that we weren't going to get along because I was going to come in there and I was going to start holding feet to fire and be holding people accountable. And I live by a quote. I work hard. I work my dick off. And I also party fucking hard. I work to live. I don't live to work. And that's like my motto is like, when it's time to get shit done, I'm the one you want to call. And then afterwards, let's go grab a beer. Let's go enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Because success is more fun.
This is the whole reason we're here. What other purpose? Like, I'm not here to just meander and exist. I'm here to get shit done and then die. That's literally my goal. Get shit done and then die.
Yeah. I have no interest in leaving gas in the tank and tread on the tires.
And leave it better. Like there's like another sense in that too, is like, You know, when you have nothing, and then by the end of it all, you have something to show for it, you kind of feel this like gusto, like, oh, look what I've done. But it goes more than that, because the things that we've achieved in this life, we're not going to take it on like with us. And the people that I have the most reverence for, my mom and other people in my life, they've left more to people. And I'm not talking about money or anything like that. Whether it's experience, whether it's knowledge, whether it's love, whatever it was, they gave more to people and they left it better than they found it. These are exceptional people.
It's a ripple in the pond.
Yes. Turn into waves into an ocean if you wanted to. I don't care what your analogy is. All I know is this. This is an absolute. It goes back to what you said about Jamie, about the business and everything. If you chase a product or a service that you see is needed, right? Like you're either offering more value or you're presenting a product for a cheaper, like same product, cheaper, whatever it is that you're adding to it. If you're chasing like the net positive, the money will come. It might not be the most money, but it will be money. But if you chase money, I guarantee you that first part might not be there. And then what was it all for? Like goes back to my thing about capitalism. I am a capitalist, but to what end? What is the point of making money? What is the point of doing all this? To what end? To what? Hoard it and then die? Like, doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, like I'm 100% like, I wish I was more money motivated, to be honest. I would do much better. But like, I'm like, but
maybe.
Well, yeah, okay. There'd be things in my life that'd be easier. How's that?
Yeah, fair. Easy. Money, I got 99 problems and money could solve 50 of them.
Money's a tool.
Yeah.
But like it's, I don't feel like that's just not like the whole like make it and hoard it just doesn't make sense to me. Like
not a dragon.
Like I want to do things with people, and then they go do things that help other people, and like that doesn't get cooler than that. You know, I've got, you know, like I said, I think I joked earlier, you're never popular being the accountability guy in the disability circle. You know, like I said, like, 'cause I can go to the grocery store and get praised for it. And there are people that like, all right, that's safe. That's the ego, ego keeping you safe. But at the same time, I'm getting to this point now. I get DMs, I get cold DMs from people. I have mentored multiple people through amputation decisions. Not something I ever thought my life would be like, but I'm that guy. I'm that guy on the Instagram. It's like, I'm the cut your leg off for a better life guy. And so I get people that will reach out to me having questions, whatever. And there's been some of them I've really mentored through for like years, just by answering questions. And like, if I was in this spot, I would ask these questions. I would approach it like this. And now I see some of these people are now taking care of people because of their experience. I haven't found a paycheck that feels like that. Like I haven't found a paycheck that feels near as good or as useful or impactful. Like that has meaning. That makes me want to go live again tomorrow, like type shit. And that's where I feel on that. It's like, is impact.
I love that. And I loved this conversation. I had an idea of some of the things that we would kind of touch on and where we would go with this. I wanted to say thank you.
No, dude, I'm
there
happy
are
to be here.
moments where I could tell that you were kind of reminiscing, looking back, and it made me emotional a little bit.
Like, I've learned that honesty is actually easiest, one, and two, for all the bad things, all the bad chapters. I don't have a bad story. I don't have a dark story. I just have bad chapters, but all hero stories do, right? The more comfortable I can be just being honest and saying it out loud, the more likely that all of that shit that I had to eat will mean something. More than just Sam got to climb a mountain. Sam ran a marathon. Sam gives a fuck. Like, if any of that shit's on my tombstone, I fucked up.
What do you want there to be on your tombstone?
He did his best. He did his best and loved his hardest. Like, I don't want there to be any question that anyone in my life has any question that somebody loves him.
God bless.
Like, that's a terrible feeling. And I don't want anyone else to ever have it.
Sam, I appreciate you coming in, man. We've been at this for 2 hours. Before we Sorry.
No,
I hope
it's
been
fine. I didn't know how long when I joked about 3. I was like, oh, dang.
Before we put a cap on it, is there anything else you want to touch on or any exiting thought you want to give?
Man, we really touched on a lot of it. Thank you.
No, thank you. Dude.
Like this is, again, we talked, before we started recording, I think that, we don't have an overlapping audience. So there's going to be people, just because you didn't deal with the level of pain that I dealt with doesn't diminish yours. And a lot of people, they feel bad. Like, oh, well, it's not as bad as Sam's. Doesn't matter. The worst pain you've ever felt is the worst pain you've ever felt. And if there's somebody listening that like they're dealing with just pain, whether or not it's physical or the pain of like this change they need to make in their life, I hope that like something in here, there's a principle or a concept that can help and like move that needle forward, because that is why I do this. Like that, this is why I like to do podcasts. This is why I do social media. It's why I've gone through the pain of getting comfortable talking about these things. Like it would be way easier to pretend they didn't happen. But again, back to the word useful. It means that it's useful instead of just cool. And things can be cool and useful, but but useful is the more important one to me.
Sam, God bless you, man. Thank you for being on this podcast.
Appreciate you for having me.